Okay. Hello? Yes, hello? Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
I think they can hear you now. This is better. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yes. Okay, so anyway, Mr. V, you're welcome. And I know we just had a brief discussion about this, and I want to know your thoughts. And so you could just share with God's people your impression or your convictions or what you would have us know from the video you watched, my video, and Daddy Free's response, and including his take and the things he's sharing with the world regarding what he believes is the gospel.
Greetings to all brethren. I come to you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ and to share with you some facts about what is transpiring in God's kingdom amongst ourselves today. I have taken time to see not just the video by Brother OJ, but also the response from Daddy Freeze. Well, the situation is that Daddy Freeze propagates that salvation is not just through Jesus Christ and through Jesus Christ alone. But salvation lies in other methods, especially those that have come after Jesus Christ in order to get to God.
They say it's only through Jesus that you go through God. Does it mean that God does not answer the prayers of the Muslims? Of course he does. Anybody telling you that it's only through Jesus that you can get through God is trying to get at your money. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to break your heart. The person's a liar and a thief. What can you say about I am the way? Which other way was there available as of the time when he said it? You see, let's also do theological history. Which other way? Islam was not born until 570 years later. I am the way. As of that time, the only other way was through the scribes and the Pharisees. He is the only way. Okay, prove it. You can't. Show me with the Bible that he's the only way. If you have Bible, read it to me.
Well, Brother Oje's video also touched on Daddy Freeze's general attitude in terms of taking up opposition, dissent to his beliefs, his insulting nature.
Everything Daddy Freeze says is full of falsehood and lack. Okay, prove it. I'm here. Do you understand? I challenge every GO in Nigeria. I challenge every senior pastor. I challenge I don't want to challenge their children because I'll now have to be dealing with imbeciles and small people that don't know anything, and they'll be using me to climb the social ladder. This one said, I'm a senior. Challenge me now. Olodo. I'm challenging you now. Talk. Olodo. I've said I will not challenge imbeciles and upcoming louds. But you, I will challenge you today. If you know you are your father's son, and you know you are not the son of a fool, and the future father of many fools, come out and talk now. I don't challenge you. I don't draw battle line for you. Oh yeah, no, do am. But you keep on deleting because you are a goat. I've blocked you like 500 times, but I'm saying today, start debunking. I say everything I taught today, debunk it with the Bible. Stop telling me what you did a month ago. I'm not here to be a psychiatrist for you. Start debunking. My understanding of the Bible is wrong. Okay, how? If I give you 5 minutes, if you can't come up with anything, I will block you again. I don't have to deal with your parents' failure. I'm waiting for him. I want him to come and debunk. You see, this is why I block this kind of goats. They will draw you back centuries.
So I'm going to briefly deal on both issues. One, if those that prophesy or profess that Jesus Christ is the only way to God and to salvation are liars and thieves. And two, that is Freeze's nature, because both of them are linked. And when you can find the link, you can understand the statement or the character. I must first say that that statement is demonic and inspired by Satan himself from the very pits of hell. I'm not saying that Daddy Freeze is demonic. I'm saying that his statement is inspired by demons and Satan himself from the very pits of hell. Now, it's linked to his nature when you look at or listen to the statement itself. The statement says that the person that says so is a liar and a thief. That statement comes from an unruly spirit. Because, brethren, if you make such a statement, what I will say to you is that, or if I do not agree that Jesus Christ is the way to God, the only way, I will say, my brother, your understanding is poor, or you don't have a good understanding, and I can teach you about that. I'm not going to call you a liar, because a liar is one who knows the truth and says something contrary. But someone mistaken is someone who believes what he says. So when you come out and you make a blanket statement that those that are telling you that Jesus is the way to God and the only way to God are liars, it means that they know contrary. It's not just that they believe it, but they know that that is not a true statement. So they are making false statements willingly. That is Freeze's position when he calls people like that, like us, liars. Secondly, thief. Let's look at that. Brother, I must say to you that that's also linked to his character, in the sense that he thinks he knows what he's saying, but he doesn't. He just says it and then goes back to look for a defense for what he has said, because his character is one of confrontation, one of insult, a hostile character, lacking spiritual discipline. There is absolutely no financial gain in telling somebody that Jesus is the only way to God. You don't get paid for it. You don't get access to the person's account. You don't get access to the person's pocket. There is nothing financially rewarding in that statement. So what is the person who professes that Jesus is the only way to Christ trying to steal? How does it get to your money? By telling you that. It's an irrational statement, unguided. You have to be able to demonstrate what you say, not just for the purpose of insulting people, but for the purpose of winning people and correcting them. If Daddy Freeze can explain how someone who professes that Christ is the only way to God is trying to steal your money or get some financial gain, maybe we will have a better understanding. But from where I look at it, there's absolutely no connection between that statement and getting at somebody's wallet. But however, we will discuss, we'll go into his character and why he speaks like that later. What is most important is that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light, and that no one cometh to the Father but by him and him alone. Brethren, I must remind you that there are only two covenants. The covenant by works and covenant by grace through faith. Okay? And because we cannot be saved by our works, because it's of no consequence whatsoever in terms of salvation, Jesus Christ came to die for us. That the phrase has to be able to explain the concept that guides other methods to God. As far as we know, it's either grace or works. So if Jesus Christ has come that we might be saved through grace, what exactly does one who follows Islam going to be saved by? Works? It's like going backwards, going back to the days of the Pharisees. So if there's no conceptual backing of these other methods, something is wrong. Now, we have to look at the implication of such statements. If we can decipher the implications, then we can know where it originates from. If one comes to tell us that Jesus Christ is not the way, or not the only way to God, our Father, and there are other ways, it does two things. One, it keeps those in captivity where they are. It gives them the comfort to remain where they are, not to look unto Christ. So it takes them away from Christ and keeps them in their bondage. That's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is that it tries to strip Christ of his victory, his glory, of bringing salvation to mankind on the cross of Calvary. That's Those are just two things he set out to achieve. He said, it is finished, and we know that there remaineth no other sacrifice. There's nothing else to do. This is the basis for which Christ is glorified. So when you say that he's not the only way, and there are other ways, you try to strip the glory
Yes, that's right.
from him. And that is why it is demonic and inspired from Satan itself. From Satan himself. Okay? Let no man be deceived. There's a spirit that gives meaning to every word you utter, everything you preach. You know, and when Jesus Christ says, "My sheep know my voice," and know that they will not listen to, it's not that he's coming to whisper in our ears so that we hear his voice. It's that we know the spirit that speaks. We can discern the spirit so that we know what is wrong and what is right.
That's right.
For someone who professes to be a Christian to come out and say, not just a Christian, a minister, to come out and say that, look, I'm going to bust your bubble. Jesus Christ is not the only way. Years later, another way, Islam came. Let me remind you, brethren, Jesus did not drop from the sky. The scriptures prophesied that he was coming and that this is what he was going to do for our salvation. It prophesied. If there was another way after Christ, these scriptures would have prophesied.
Exactly.
That Islam or whatever would come in the future to provide another way or an alternate way for those who cannot cope with Jesus. Because we are now at a situation where we have a minister saying to other people, look, you can get to God through other means. Even though it's not in the scripture, just be good. We know that if you look at yourself, brethren, you will know that you can't be good. The only thing you can hold on to is the grace of God through your faith in Jesus Christ. Or you might as well go back and start killing sheep and goats and trying to cover your sins, because Jesus Christ did not come to cover our sins. He came to blot it out, to wipe it clean. So that's the inspiration from hell, to deny him of that glory, to strip him, reduce that, to reduce his significance in the way of getting salvation to God, just to take it away, to try to reverse what he accomplished 2,000 years ago and keep people in bondage, pure and simple. There's nothing to add to that. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. And those that have the Spirit, I don't have to speak much. You already know what I've said. You can discern whether I am speaking the truth or not. Just look at what the impact of that statement achieves. Having said that, let's look at Daddy Freeze himself. Now, I'm not here to insult Daddy Freeze. He's a man. Just like every one of us, we have our faults. But the minister of God is held to a higher standard.
True. Very true.
I'll say this to you about Daddy Freeze. I know that Brother Oje called him a novice, and I can understand the context of that. But I think Brother Oje was being kind to him. Daddy Freeze has a hostile, wild, toxic character and spirit, lacking any virtue that comes from the Holy Spirit. Simply put, he is wild and unbroken by the Spirit of God. Unbroken by the Spirit of God. Unbroken by the Spirit of God. For no man that aspires to be in the position of a minister of God can be so arrogant, boastful, unguarded in its utterance.
That's right.
About his fellow brethren.
Exactly. Spot on.
When Paul was called, Paul was wild and unbroken. God dealt with him. By the time God had finished with Paul, though charged with the Spirit, was focused on his brethren in love, not in insult. Daddy Faith seeks to insult people to salvation. You can't insult people to salvation. You can win people to salvation. When you boast that you know how to insult, it only means you boast about the spirit that controls you. If Daddy Freeze has gained recognition and and what's the appropriate word apart from recognition? Followership. So he's preaching against tithes and other ministers. He should not mistake that because people can listen to the truth and support it. That it means that when he speaks nonsense, people will also support him.
Exactly.
Because we have a spirit that guides us to the truth. So when you profess the truth today and you capitalize on that, or you think it's the key to saying anything so that every other person will just follow you as well, you are wrong. You are wrong. You have to be humble. You have to be tamed by the Spirit. You have to subdue and surrender yourself to God and to the people you have been called to serve. You don't place yourself above them, humiliate them, degrade them, insult them, and then you hope to win them. Now, I'll give an example of his arrogant, ungodly nature in just these videos that have gone around. I watched his video. I didn't watch 7 minutes. I didn't make an assumption. Vladimir has a spirit that is about himself, about his knowledge, about his position of teaching and all that. He's high-minded in himself. And so he belittles others. You spend 7 minutes listening to, according to Daddy Freeze, one guy's message so that you generally get the gist and then make an assumption that is wrong and spend 1 hour, 30 minutes preaching on a wrong assumption because you had no patience, which is a virtue, to listen to 36 minutes. But you can preach for 1 hour, 40 minutes and expect people to follow you.
Exactly.
To be a good teacher, you have to also be a good listener. Mm-hmm. You have to have the virtue of patience. You have to have the character of learning from your brethren. Iron sharpeneth iron. You should not be above reproach. You should be able to handle rebuke. It's not a competition. It's a fellowship of brethren. It is that spirit that makes him boastful. That spirit is not the Holy Ghost. It is not the Spirit of God. It is a self-righteous, self-absorbing, self-glorifying, self-magnifying spirit. Quick to defend his faults, not willing to listen to others to learn. Hold on to the things that he has said and defend them because he cannot be seen to be wrong. That's arrogance and outright pride. Brethren, do not be deceived. No minister of God, no genuine minister of God is that untamed, wild, and uncultured in the spirit. No matter the truth the person speaks, I must tell you, brethren, that a minister's work, his ministry, is not just about what he says, it is about his life. His life has to back up what he says. He has to have virtues from the Holy Spirit, fruits, to be gentle, to be patient, to be kind. Okay? If you're a minister, God did not just send you to preach. Preaching, when I say preach, not just to talk. Preaching is about your life as well. You have to be able to live a life that is worthy of what you preach. You should be able to win people to Christ, not just with your words, but with your character, your life. For your life will be the footprints you leave on the sands of time. Today we look at Paul, we look at Peter, look at all these men of God. We look at what they teach, we look at their lives. I've always said this to my brother in Christ. If people realize, if men really realize what it takes to be ministers of God, when they are called, they will flee in the other direction. God will probably have to chase you, hold you down, break you to make you want, because it is the highest sacrifice you can make. It strips you of everything. You become a lamb to the slaughter. You're not proud. You're not high-minded. You know, you are the one that receives the insults, not gives it out. Okay? The only thing you want to give out is God. It's not about yourself. You're not there to defend yourself. You're there to defend God. You're not there to insult people. You are there to be insulted. That's the ministry. Okay? But the ministry has been glorified in a different way, where it's a ministry of comfort, loud-mouthed people, materially drunk people, people who have absolutely no sacrifice. What they see as sacrifice is praying and preaching the word. That's their sacrifice. That's what is their sacrifice. And so when you have people like that, they are very boastful, very loud, very, very self-righteous, very, very self-absorbed, and they try to belittle others. It's like a competition. If you look around the ministries today, it's a competition. It's not a fellowship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a competition, one after the other, one against the other. Who has more people, who has more money, who makes the loudest noise, who is more recognized in terms of fame, but not in terms of sacrifice. And so you have a minister like this who who aspires for that kind of recognition by controversy, more so by insulting brethren, belittling them, and standing his ground to threaten people with insults and bullying. Well, like I said to Brother OJ in 33's video, I'm okay to him. It was uncharacteristic of him not to insult Brother OJ. He said he wouldn't insult, but he knows how to insult. Because if he insults, he threatens people with insult. That's a man of God. He threatens people with insult. Why? Because the spirit that rules him is not the Holy Ghost.
That's true.
There is nothing broken about that. Nothing. If you ask a believer, just general as a believer, okay, apart from what Daddy Freeze preaches, what virtue? What can you learn from him? Is it patience? Is it kindness? Is it what? Your page will be blank because there's nothing. He's hostile. He's toxic in character and spirit. My brethren, for those who love him, pray for him.
Yeah.
For those who can reach him, talk to him. If he will listen to you. I say this to people. You can't go to a madman and tell the madman you are mad, and the madman will say, yes, I'm mad. It's not possible. The same criticism he offers about ministers, expecting them to change, is the same criticism that comes to him that he cannot accept, but he expects them to accept their own.
Exactly.
He's above reproach. He is self-righteous, perfect in his ways. And he tries to be humble by saying, I know my message will be judged and all that and all that. You can't just be humble in words. You have to be humble in character.
Yep.
You have to be humble in spirit. You have to be broken by the Holy Ghost. So that's my contribution. I pray that if this message gets out to him, this video, he should take a hard think and separate himself for some time with God and the Holy Spirit, because the message he preaches, with the spirit he preaches it, doesn't do Christians any favors and doesn't seek to win anybody to Christ. It just seems to drive people who are skeptical about Christ much more further away from the gospel, because according to him, there are other ways. Finally, I'm going to say this. No, Brother Oji has already said it. In the video, Daddy Freeze professes that the Holy Ghost is just like for Christians to fellowship with. That's why that's the difference between the way to God with Christians and others. That we have the Holy Ghost. That's just the difference. It's just for us to fellowship. I said this. Jesus Christ did not die for us. He did not come to die so that we might receive the Holy Ghost.
That's right.
That is not why Jesus Christ came to die for us. Salvation is not because we want to receive the Holy Ghost. Jesus Christ came to die for us so that we will be saved.
True.
So that our sins will not count against us, so that we will not be damned. The Holy Ghost is to comfort us and keep us till that time that he comes back, to help us to maintain the faith. Okay? Stick to your covenant, because it is the most precious thing you have. The grace of God through your faith in Christ it is your salvation. It is your comfort. It is your hope. If you step out of it because you think you want to try another way, that when Jesus comes, it will be bad for anyone whose name is not found in the book of life. There will always be religions, brethren. I'm sure right now there are others evolving. There are others that involve Satan or homosexuality. Everybody's forming their own way, their own church, their own concept of how to get to God and what God demands of you to be able to be saved. So it's not about how recent, how modern the movies or the religion is. It doesn't matter whether it came before or after Christ. What matters is the truth. What matters is the word of God. Hold on to your faith. Do not be tossed around by someone who through some, I don't know whether to use the word favorable means, have gained popularity on the airwaves and then seizes that opportunity to be used to deny Christ or to try to diminish the glory of Christ. He didn't pay that. He didn't pay that ultimate price. He didn't pay that ultimate price for another way to come and just. He didn't do that. He wasn't. The Bible did not keep prophesying of him to come to save us, just for him to come and go, and then after all, several other ways came up. So do not lend ears to such doctrines. Just keep steadfast in the faith and pray that God helps all of us and our brethren and those people put in charge or who have placed themselves in charge as ministers of God. Okay, brethren?
Wow.
Thank you, Brother Oji, for giving this time to share my
Wow.
thoughts.
Thank you, Brother V. You've been such a blessing to me, and I'm sure that our brother too has been such a blessing to our brethren as well.